My name is Nick Delmonico. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Strados Labs, and Strados Labs is focused on improving the way that we manage respiratory health. We created a non-invasive respiratory smart sensor, which connects to a health platform and enables care teams and patients to better understand wheezing and coughing and shortness of breath. The way that, for example, Fitbit will be able to monitor steps or heart rate, we're actually measuring and monitoring the frequency of wheezing and coughing. Whether we're doing research on new therapeutics, trying to figure out how different populations respond to different drugs or different treatments, the idea of getting something in real time has this opportunity to expand the way we think about respiratory care. I'm going to take the tone down a bit here with a sort of a sad story. It's about a girl named Tamara Mills. She was diagnosed with asthma at the age of 10 years old. And for the next 3 years, she and her family would struggle to manage her signs and symptoms, which ultimately led to 47 hospitalizations in 36 months. Every time she was provided with generally the same asthma action plan and care plan while she was in the ED, but she ultimately still didn't understand her signs and symptoms, when she was wheezing, when she was coughing, whether or not her medications were actually helping or hurting. Unfortunately, Tamara never made it a 48th time because she ended up passing away in her home from an asthma attack. And the biggest challenge here is that missing data around signs and symptoms, asymptomatic signs, and being able to understand that information and correlate that to medication use and how a patient is feeling. I myself am an asthmatic, and I understand what it feels like to collapse on a soccer field and end up in the hospital and be asked a question about whether or not I was experiencing signs and symptoms or how frequently I was for the last 4 weeks. There's really no way of tracking that today, until now, with Strados. And what we do is we provide a real-time objective measure of changes in lung sounds throughout the entire episode of care. That allows care teams to obtain additional information longitudinally about patients who have a higher risk of exacerbation with the goal of optimizing care and improving quality of life. We do that with our patent-pending acoustic sound monitoring technology. It's a small wearable patch that works much like a wearable stethoscope. And we have an AI platform that actually analyzes the sounds and identifies wheezing, coughing, and changes in breathing pattern, provides that information back to care teams so they can more effectively triage a patient in advance of an exacerbation or a hospitalization event. Strados is unique and different from other devices that monitor vital signs or minute ventilation in that we pair those traditional vital signs with our acoustic sound monitoring technology. It's the first time that we're actually able to objectively measure those changes in a patient's lung sounds over a period of time. Since joining TMCX, we've had a tremendous amount of traction that makes us, and me personally, very excited, not only signing letters of intent with pilot partners, but also having an ongoing clinical study to validate our core algorithms. And it's happening in an emergency room in Harlem where they have a very high population of asthma and COPD patients that utilize the ED. And the ED physicians are actually able to enroll the patients, place the device on them, and then through that entire treatment plan, we are recording those changes in lung sounds, and we're validating with those physicians whether or not we're able to effectively identify those same sounds. And we're doing so with actually very high levels of sensitivity and specificity. And one that's personally my favorite pilot that we have going on right now is with Harris County Public Health, where we're partnering with their Open Airways program through school-based clinics to not only provide those patients with education around what they can do to help better monitor their symptoms, but pairing that with our Strados platform. Over the next 16 months, we plan to use these pilots and these clinical studies to help develop our platform and our commercially ready product. And we're doing so with an amazing team of individuals who have been there and done that with medical device and remote patient monitoring technologies. Richard Powers was the CIO of CardioMEMS before it was acquired by St. Jude Medical for about $455 million. And our CMO, Dr. Mitchell Glass, is a pulmonologist who's launched several drug therapeutics and diagnostic devices into the market. We're currently fundraising $1.5 million. We have about 30% soft circled and a $50,000 hard circle right now. We're looking for pilots, additional pilots to execute through the ICU and CCU, post-surgical monitoring, and also for COPD exacerbation as well, and expanding our team. And more importantly, we want people to help us make every breath count. Thank you for your time.